Are you being taken advantage of? Do you feel that everyone is stepping over you? Do you feel that your partner, family, or friends do things that you don't like, and you are not able to tell them something? Let me tell you that being good is in your Stoic nature, but being too good has gotten you out of there. Are you too good to disturb your Stoic nature? Do you feel tired of always pleasing others? You shouldn't be feeling this way. Being very good is not always good. This statement may seem counterintuitive at first, but a deeper look reveals several situations in which being excessively good can result in negative consequences. For example, in the professional realm, being too complacent and not setting clear boundaries can lead to others taking advantage of one's kindness, resulting in an unbalanced workload and possibly burnout. In addition, in personal relationships, if you always put the needs of others above your own, this can lead to an imbalance and lack of reciprocity. Therefore, it is crucial to find a balance between being kind and ensuring that one is not harmed by their own generosity. I once heard the saying, "Don't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm." This is a powerful reminder of ancient Stoic wisdom about the importance of balancing kindness with self-care. In today's rush to be perceived as good, many have distorted the noble act of kindness into a self-destructive habit. We are often urged to go above and beyond our limits for the sake of others, but at what cost? The truth is that too much kindness, when it depletes your own resources and well-being, is not a virtue, but a path to ruin. Many have lost their way by giving so much of themselves that they feel empty, despised, and exhausted. It is a modern tragedy where the best intentions can lead to the worst of outcomes. Stoicism offers us another perspective, a way to be generous without losing our essence, a way of being kind, but also with ourselves. It teaches us the art of balanced generosity, ensuring that our actions enrich the lives of others while protecting our own well-being. It's not just about being kind to others, but also to yourself. Marcus Aurelius would remind us that our first duty is to our own well-being. Without it, we cannot be genuinely present to others. Today I will talk to you about how being kind can be destructive for you. That is, so much that it can damage you from a psychological perspective, even your Stoic nature. Well, let's start at the beginning, but first, I invite you to subscribe and activate the notification campaign. This will keep you informed when I upload more videos like this. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. Let's first analyze, why is it so difficult to say no? One of our most fundamental needs is social connection and the feeling that we belong. Saying no feels threatening to our relationships and that feeling of connection. In the midst of our struggles to fit in and our peers trusting us, we worry that saying no can do those very things, being rejected. The fear of saying no also stems from the need to avoid conflict or confrontation. Another reason people tend to worry about saying no is because they don't want to disappoint others or hurt their feelings. But I want you to know something too important, and for that, you need to understand it well. They are simple words, but simple sentences are the ones that are best explained and that we give little importance, so listen well. While saying yes when we really don't want to can help us avoid the immediate discomfort of confrontation, but the long-term cost can range from resentment, constant stress, or even feeling tired. In addition, camouflaging our inability to say no by fabricating excuses made up of lies is also something that people struggle with, and the chain of lies can take its toll on the individual over time. Stoic sages encourage us to take control of our lives and assert boundaries, learning to say no rather than overcommitting their time, energy, and finances. Professor Vanessa Patrick of the University of Houston says, "The ability to communicate a no really reflects that you're in the driver's seat of your own life. It gives you a sense of empowerment." Well, how do we say no? Of course I can give you tips to say no, but we'll talk about that a little later, because first I want you to know how harmful it is to always say yes. So to learn well what I'm talking about, you need to be attentive to the entire video. Point number 2, being too kind will cause loss of control over one's will. Being too kind can lead to giving in to the demands of others, sacrificing our own values and goals. This goes against the Stoic principle of acting according to reason and virtue. Without realizing it, we are letting ourselves be carried away by external emotions or expectations. Being excessively kind can lead a person to lose control over their own will, since by constantly prioritizing the needs and desires of others over their own, it can reach a point where one's own preferences and desires are ignored or suppressed. This situation can generate internal dissonance, where identity and personal boundaries become blurred. Nietzsche warned of the dangers of self-denial in pursuit of altruism. In his work, Beyond Good and Evil, Nietzsche argues that traditional morality promotes the denial of the self in favor of others, which can lead to the loss of individuality and life force. On the other hand, Immanuel Kant, in his Foundation of the Metaphysics of Morals, argues that it is essential to act according to a sense of duty that respects one's own autonomy and that of others. According to Kant, being kind should not imply subjugating one's own will to that of others, but to act with respect for oneself and others as ends in themselves. While being kind is a desirable virtue, it is crucial to maintain a balance that preserves personal autonomy and avoids falling into excessive complacency that can result in the loss of control over one's will. Excessive kindness can be seen as a form of weakness, causing others to take advantage of us or not take us seriously. This erodes the strength and independence that are essential for a virtuous life according to Stoicism. In addition, by focusing on pleasing everyone, we can lose sight of our own identity and values. This takes us away from the Stoic ideal of living an authentic life that is congruent with our nature. This can also generate low self-esteem, since the person does not value themselves above the needs of others. This contradicts both the psychological and the Stoic idea of the importance of self-esteem for mental well-being. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not be carried away by what others think of you, but by what you think of yourself." Point number 3. Being very kind will cause weakening of character. Excessive kindness can be seen as a form of weakness, causing others to take advantage of us or not take us seriously. This erodes the strength and independence that are essential for a virtuous life according to Stoicism. Being very kind can lead to a weakening of character if kindness is confused with the inability to set healthy boundaries. Excessive kindness can result in a loss of self-respect and allow others to take advantage of our goodwill. It is essential to analyze this consequence of being an extremely good person, as it can lead to a decrease in self-esteem and less personal development. Aristotle spoke of the virtue of the just mean, suggesting that goodness should be balanced and not extreme. The idea is to be kind, but also fair and firm when necessary, so as not to fall into the extreme of being too lenient or permissive. In summary, while being kind is an admirable quality, it is crucial to maintain a balance to protect our own well-being and character. To avoid this, it is important to set clear boundaries and stand firm in your convictions while being polite. Excessive kindness can lead to one being taken advantage of or not taken seriously. Analyzing this consequence implies recognizing that being a good person does not mean being passive or complacent. Stoic philosophers such as Seneca emphasized the importance of being virtuous without losing resilience. Seneca wrote, "Virtue is the mean between two vices, the vice of deficiency and the vice of excess." This suggests that kindness should be balanced with strength of character. Point number 4. Being very kind will cause resentment and frustration. By constantly pleasing others, we can accumulate resentment and dissatisfaction for not prioritizing our own needs. This generates a negative state of mind that contradicts the Stoic search for tranquility and inner peace. Resentment and frustration appear when kindness becomes a constant sacrifice of our own needs and desires to please others. But why do we feel that way? How would we feel better? Well, when our kindness is not reciprocated, we may feel that we are being used or that our effort is not valued. By constantly prioritizing the needs of others, we can suppress our own needs and desires, leading to internal frustration. A sense of injustice can also arise when we feel like we're giving more than we get in our relationships. The ideal is to talk about this with the person who makes us feel that way. Show our discomfort in a friendly way. In case it is not receptive, the best thing we can do is to move away. Marcus Aurelius gives us the solution for these moments, for he said, "The best revenge is to be different from the one who committed the injustice." He also said, "If you feel afflicted by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your own estimation of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any time." These quotes remind us that our reaction to the actions of others is within our control, and that we must seek a balance in our behavior to live in harmony with both ourselves and society. Point number 4. Being too kind will cause emotional exhaustion. Being too kind can be emotionally draining, as it involves a constant effort to please others and regulate emotions. This can lead to fatigue, anxiety, and depression. Social pressure to be kind and accommodating can be emotionally burdensome, especially in cultures that value harmony and conflict avoidance. And the desire to be kind can be motivated by fear of rejection or disapproval. This can generate social anxiety and make it difficult to express one's opinions or needs. Marcus Aurelius, for example, stressed the importance of focusing on our own behavior and attitudes, rather than on the actions of others. These teachings can be helpful in managing the desire to be overly kind and avoiding emotional burnout. Point number 5. Being very kind will cause feeling of obligation. Excessive kindness can create a feeling of obligation towards others, which can be emotionally charged and make it difficult to make independent decisions. You must recognize the importance of autonomy and free decision-making for individual well-being. We should be grateful, yes, but just because someone is nice to you doesn't mean a source of stress for you. Rather, let's take it as a reason to be at peace, not only because our personality was valued with a beneficial act for us, but also because we can feel more at peace since there are people we can trust. However, from a contrary perspective, to prevent someone else from feeling obligated to us for doing them a favor, it's important to set healthy boundaries and communicate our intentions clearly, making sure that our kindness isn't perceived as a demand for something in return. Marcus Aurelius reflects this idea by emphasizing the importance of acting according to nature, being kind because it is the right thing to do, not because we expect recognition or reward. Point number 6. Being very kind will cause attracting the wrong kind of people. Kindness may be a prerequisite for healthy, meaningful relationships, but a complete inability to set boundaries can appear as an invitation to those with draining emotional needs, the Borang Touch poster warns. Be overly kind and you'll start to attract people who are needy, whiny, overly emotional, demanding, controlling. Guilt will trip you up if you don't do something for them, she writes. Seneca said, "True goodness is that which does not seek to be exploited." The moment you feel that people are taking advantage of your goodwill, or the problem of other problems causes problems in your life, simply set boundaries and walk away. You can help, yes, because our Stoic nature dictates it. We must be generous with those who need it, but we cannot carry all the problems of others on our shoulders. Give them the tools to overcome the situation and set the limit. And if you can't do much for that person, don't overexert yourself. Everyone will find a way to overcome their own obstacles. Point number 7. Being too kind will cause you will distort your expectations. If someone is too kind to people, they start expecting an excessive amount of kindness from others as well. This always leads the nice ones to think that others are being mean to them or that they take them for granted. Many people can't stand this, and when they talk about how nice they are to everyone, while others take it for granted, they tend to seem very authoritative. And not all people will be willing to do for you what you do for them. This is where your Stoic nature comes in. Giving importance to this trifle will only cause stress in your life, anxiety, and you will feel unvalued. But do you know what the problem is? Your lack of ability to say no, your little intuition in choosing your relatives, and your high expectations. Support those who support you, and do not give too much importance to people who do not. Remember, a true Stoic acts with goodwill, without expecting something in return. Point number 8. Being very kind will cause forgetting to be kind to yourself. I think the most important point and the most egregious consequence of being too good is to end up forgetting to be kind to ourselves. This is also the problem of being too nice, which is often mentioned by entrepreneurship experts. Being responsive is great for your business, but if you focus too much on meeting the needs of others, you'll end up with no time to work on your own priorities or the long-term issues that are essential to your company's health. To avoid falling into this pattern, it is important to set healthy boundaries and remember that taking care of yourself is not an act of selfishness, but a fundamental need. Stoic philosophers such as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of self-development and self-compassion. Seneca wrote, "As long as you help yourself, you can also help others." And Marcus Aurelius reminded us that it is essential to withdraw into oneself. These quotes underscore the idea that we can't offer our best to others if we don't take care of ourselves first. Well, last point to touch on today is learning to say no. When saying no, be firm, non-defensive or overly apologetic, as well as being very polite. This signals that you're understanding, but they won't change their minds easily if you're pressured. Also be clear, if you decide to tell the person that you will return to them, let it be in fact and without obligation. If you lead people to believe that you'll probably say yes later, they'll be more disappointed with a later no. And please skip the excuses. If asked for an explanation, remember that you don't really owe anyone. It doesn't fit with my schedule is perfectly acceptable. Those are 3 points to take into account, but valid and very polite alternatives to say no are listen well and take note. I'm too busy today. Maybe I can help another time. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. Is there any other way I can help? I'm feeling overwhelmed with work right now, so I'll have to take a rain check. I'm not qualified to help with that project. That sounds like a lot of fun, but I won't be able to do it. No, I have a previous commitment. Maybe next time. I would like to help, but right now I can't. Can you ask me later? Well, follow these steps to say no, and always keep in mind how harmful it can be very kind. Remember, for more tips like this, you can subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to be more informed when I upload more videos. If you have a friend who is too kind, share this video with them. Now yes, we say goodbye. This is not a goodbye, it is a see you later.